Constellations!
Hey, what is going on everyone? Konospens bringing you all a brand new Genshin Impact video, and today I'm going to be giving all of you Keqing main/simps a guide on how to make Keqing your main DPS unit. In this guide, I'll go over about Keqing as a unit, her talents, constellations, weapons, artifacts, and lastly, my own Keqing build. With that said, if you're excited for the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that said, let's get on with the guide. A little bit about Keqing. Keqing is a one-handed sword electro unit who can fulfill the role of your main DPS. She can either be a physical DPS or an electro DPS. Electro DPS is more fun, by the way, just letting you know. In this guide, I'll be explaining on how to make her your electro DPS, so if you do want to see a physical DPS guide for her, let me know in the comments below. When we take a look at Keqing's unique ascension stat, you can see that the stat which gets upgraded is her crit damage. This is very important when building Keqing, since with a Keqing DPS build, we want to maximize the use of her crit damage, meaning we want lots and lots of crit rate. Next we have Keqing's attacks. As all characters inside Genshin, Keqing has her main attacks which can be performed up to 5 times. She also has a charge attack, which is considered to be one of the best, if not the best charged attack inside of Genshin. Her elemental skill, Stellar Restoration, has 2 uses. One being that you can activate her elemental skill and you throw a lightning stiletto somewhere in a set range, then you can use her elemental skill again to teleport to that stiletto, dealing AoE electro damage through a big electro slash. The other way to use this elemental skill is by throwing the stiletto, then using a charge attack to make the stiletto explode, also dealing AoE electro damage. However, this option does less damage and it is more suited for physical damage Keqing. Then we have her Elemental Burst, Starward Sword, where when activated, Keqing is invincible and deals multiple electro strikes in a large AoE, kind of like Killua's Godspeed. As for Keqing's talents, the first one upgrades the damage of her main, charged, and plunged attack. Her second talent upgrades the damage of her elemental skill, and similarly, her third talent upgrades the damage of her Elemental Burst. Her fourth talent, which unlocks at Ascension 1, allows you to convert all your damage into electro damage after recasting her elemental's skill, within 5 seconds after use. This enables Keqing to almost always deal electro damage, which is pretty important for a electro DPS Keqing. Her fifth talent, which unlocks at Ascension 4, boosts Keqing's crit rate and energy recharge by 15%, for 8 seconds upon using her elemental burst. This buff is almost always up for Keqing since her burst has a low cost, meaning you'll probably have it on cooldown most of the time, meaning that you can have those buffs up most of the time as well. Lastly, her sixth talent allows her to complete expeditions in leeway 25% faster, so yeah, send her on expeditions for faster rewards. Now, the constellations that only a select few have. Not me, I'm not part of that select few, and probably most of you watching aren't part of that select few either, but for those of you who want to see her constellations. At Constellation 1, recasting Stellar Restoration while a lightning stiletto is present causes Keqing to deal 50% of her attack as AoE electro damage at the start, point, and terminus of her blink. Pretty nice, more damage, who doesn't like that? At C2, when Keqing's normal and charge attacks hit enemies affected by electro, they have a 50% chance of producing an elemental particle. This effect can only occur at once every 5 seconds. That means you're gonna have your ult up on cooldown even more of the time. At C3, increases the level of Starward Sword by 3. Maximum upgrade level is 15, as for most things. At C4, for 10 seconds after Keqing triggers an electro-related elemental reaction, her attack is increased by 25%. That's pretty strong, not gonna lie. C5 increases the level of Stellar Restoration by 3, maximum level 15, and her final constellation, C6, when initiating a normal attack, a charge attack, elemental skill, or elemental burst, so technically any type of attack, Keqing gains a 6% electro damage bonus for 8 seconds. Effects triggered by normal attacks, charge attacks, elemental skills, and elemental bursts are considered independent entities. That's insane. That is an insane constellation to have. C6 Keqing is busted from what I'm seeing from that right now. For those of you who don't have the constellations, don't worry too much. Your Keqing will still be cracked if you are at C0, as long as you build her right. But if you do have her constellations, well, I guess you'll have an even stronger Keqing, won't you now? All right, time for weapons, but can we stop for a moment and just take a look at that figure 8 in the background? Yeah, it looks pretty nice. But back on track, weapons. I have two main weapons that I'm gonna suggest for Electro build Keqing. First one's gonna be the Lion's Roar, and the second one is gonna be the Black Sword. Both of them are strong choices, very close in terms of DPS. It's gonna come down to which one you prefer. All right, first up is the Lion's Roar. When you first get it, it's gonna have a base attack stat of 42. The Lion's Roar is a great weapon since its substat gives you attack percent, which increases your overall damage. As for its passive, it gives you a 20% bonus to your overall damage to enemies affected by Electro or Pyro. This stat will increase by 4% every time you refine the weapon. Unfortunately, Lion's Roar can be quite rare since it can only be obtained through the gacha system. Also, that passive for the Lion's Roar is almost always up for an Electro build Keqing since she is always dishing out Electro damage and dealing the Electro debuff with her Electro imbued attacks. So, the Black Sword. The Black Sword, on the other hand, can be obtained once every Battle Pass season, so long as you pay for the Battle Pass. The Black Sword has the same main attack stat as the Lion's Roar, however, the substat gives you that oh so valuable crit rate, which will make your Keqing a lot easier to build. The passive stat of the Black Sword gives you a 20% bonus to normal and charged attacks, and also when you hit a crit, you can heal yourself for 60% of the damage dealt, and that only occurs every 6 seconds. Note, for every refinement level of the Black Sword, the passive stats go up by 5% and 10% respectively. Overall, both swords are equally great and constantly switch places from best and second best sword for Electro Keqing. Personally, I do prefer the Lion's Roar simply due to the aesthetics, and that I feel that it suits Keqing a lot better than the Black Sword. Also, Genshin Impact has shown in both their trailer and in the story mode cutscenes that Keqing uses the Lion's Roar, so Lion's Roar is the sword that I'm going to use. Also, I have it refinement rank 2, so yeah. Since we now know that every time we ascend Keqing, she gets an increase in her crit damage, we obviously want to focus on her crit rate. That being said, the stats we want to look out for the most in order for our Keqing are crit rate, crit damage, electro damage, then attack. From experience, I think the sweet spot for your Keqing's crit rate is around 50% or higher, which will get a bonus 15% after using her elemental burst at Ascension rank 4. That being said, you can get away with 40% crit rate, which I think is the absolute minimum, and you shouldn't go any lower or else your Keqing will kind of feel lacking. Now, everyone's favorite part of the build, the artifacts. First, I'm going to go over the main stats that you're going to be looking for on each piece. For the flower, you're obviously locked onto HP, and the feather, you're locked onto attack. The timepiece, you're going to want to look for attack percent. The goblet, you're going to want electro bonus damage. However, you can always opt for attack percent if you cannot find an electro bonus artifact that is somewhat decent. And for the circlet, you're going to want crit damage. But if you do not have enough crit, or you just can't find a good crit damage piece, you can always go for crit rate or maybe even attack percent. As for the substats, the priority is crit rate, crit damage, attack percent, flat attack, energy recharge, elemental mastery, and nobody cares about the others because they are utter trash and make you want to cry when you roll them. Now for the sets, I have two idea set builds for Electro Keqing. The first set is going to be a 2-piece Gladiator and a 2-piece Thundering Fury. Both these sets are of the 5-star variant, meaning that all the main stats and substats will be of the highest possible values. Gladiator 2-piece will give you an 18% attack bonus, and the 2-piece Thundering Fury will give you an extra 15% electro damage bonus, altogether making for a strong electro build Keqing that can deal with both electro-immune mobs and non-electro-immune mobs. The second artifact set for Keqing is going to be a 4-piece Thundering Fury. This 4-piece 5-star set will give you the best possible stats, as well as the set bonuses of 15% bonus electro damage and 40% bonus damage for any electro-related reaction, where if a reaction occurs, your elemental burst cooldown will be reduced by 1 second for every 0.8 seconds. This set will be extremely powerful against mobs that are not immune to electro. However, it will be quite lacking against those mobs that are immune to electro. In summary, A more balanced but still very strong build is the 2-piece for both Thundering Fury and Gladiator, and the absolute insane electro god damage build will be the 4-piece Thundering Fury set. Now, my Keqing build. This is the embarrassing part. My Keqing build is absolute garbo and does not relate to anything that I said before, maybe besides that Gladiator set. So what I got, obviously, we'll start out with the flower. I got a Thunder Soother's flower, just because that was the best flower I can get. So obviously we have HP. I was able to roll attack percent, crit rate, attack, and elemental mastery. We are missing crit damage, which would have been better over elemental mastery, and that would have been perfect for a 4-star flower. For my feather, I do have a 5-star gladiator feather. We got attack as the main stat, crit rate, which is amazing, defense, get out of here, you're trash, crit damage, amazing, and energy recharge. Would have been better if we had attack percent, but a strong flower feather if I do say so myself. For our timepiece, I do have a Berserker set. This is like for earlier Keqing builds. I have attack percent on it, which is the correct stat. We were able to get crit rate, energy recharge, but then we got hit by defense and HP. Like, get that shit out of here, man. My goblet is also a purple Berserker set. We did get electro damage bonus, which is why I'm using it. Has a 34.8% electro damage bonus, which is pretty nice. Defense percent, that shit, get it out. Energy recharge, nice. HP, get it out of here. Flat attack, it's meh, whatever. It would have been nice if we could have gotten some extra crit rate on this. And then we got my Gladiator Circlet, which is giving me 62.2% crit damage, which is crazy. I'm getting 7 extra crit rate from it. Energy recharge, pretty nice. Flat attack, pretty nice. HP, I even got an upgrade on it. I'm pretty mad about that one. Could have been crit damage, and it would have been a pretty god roll circlet, but it is what it is. There's always room to upgrade your artifacts. That's how there's still content in this game. And obviously I got the Berserker bonus and the Gladiator's Finale bonus for the 2-piece sets. For my weapon, I have the Lion's Roar. However, I do occasionally switch back to the Black Sword for that crit rate if I feel like I'm not critting enough. And here's my stats right here, 17,000 HP, 1850 attack, nobody cares about defense, elemental mastery is pretty low, she's not a support. If we go into details, 734 base attack, and the important stats, crit rate, 43.7, I am on the lower end of the spectrum, and a crit damage is 158.9%, which is pretty nice. Energy recharge, 131.6, so I'm really getting that a lot. And my electro damage 34.8% from that goblet. However, if I do switch over to the Black Sword, I do lose a lot of my attack. However, like, I just lost like 300 attack, which is crazy. All because of the Lion's Roar attack percent. But as you can see, now we got 68.8 crit rate, which is crazy. Still 158.9% crit damage. Energy recharge is the same, and so is the electro damage. Like, these swords are pretty good. They both have their perks. Like, I don't know what to say. I should be using this because I want more crit rate, but, you know, I just like the looks of the Lion's Roar more, so I'm going to keep that on and just farm artifacts since I'm AR45. And that's going to be it for the ELECTRO KEQING DPS build guide. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video and there was some helpful information. Did take a lot of time and effort to make, so make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Genshin videos, and feel free to leave a comment if you need help with any of your Keqing builds. That's going to be it for me today, and until next time guys, peace.